Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is a little bit ominous, because the title is Hard Knocks. And that is because there is an unusual thing happening in the heavens this week, and it is that all 10 planets in the heavens are being harshly squared by some other planet. And so that can lead to hard knocks this week, because the planets are, even though there are some good aspects, every planet is being squared by some other planet. In fact, 8 of the 10 planets are in a very harsh grand cross among mutable signs. And so with all of those 8 planets squaring and opposing each other, people are not going to be getting along, and they can refuse to cooperate right now, and they can be sort of stuck on their own feelings or in their own thoughts, and not be too willing to consider anyone else's as well. So that's too bad. The other 2 planets are Aries, are Uranus in Aries, and that is retrograde, but it is squaring Pluto in Capricorn, and that can lead to power plays or some sort of standoff as well. So the 8 planets in mutable signs can lead to deception, or to arguments, or to even some sort of betrayal, and certainly to hurt feelings. And that is because the sun has now moved out of Leo, and it is in Virgo. And there are 4 wonderful planets in Virgo: the sun, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter. And they are all being squared by the passive moon in Gemini. And since the moon does rule our feelings, and that planet is getting squared by all 4 planets in Virgo, there can be people, particularly younger people, who can get their feelings hurt right now, because someone might want to talk about facts and figures instead of feelings. And so there can be a little disconnect there, and that can create hard knocks in one way or another. Those 4 planets in Virgo are also being opposed strongly by Mars and Saturn in Sagittarius. And Mars and Saturn now are both in perfect alignment, because they are both at the 10th degree of Sagittarius. And when we reduce numbers, 1 plus 0 equals 1. 1 is the number of Aries and of new beginnings, but those are malefic planets, and they are trining the 3rd malefic planet, Uranus, which is in Aries. So I would say, quite surprisingly, there can be some evil that is empowered right now and does generate some sort of new beginning, and it may be something that represents hard knocks right now. And then there can be deception as well, because Neptune in Pisces is squaring all of the planets in Virgo, and it is also being squared by Mars and Saturn in Sagittarius, and it's also being squared by that gentle moon in Gemini. So those 8 planets represent deception, arguments, or even betrayal right now. And that is because Venus in Virgo is squaring Mars in Sagittarius, so men and women can be in disagreement. And Venus is also squaring Saturn in Sagittarius, which can indicate a betrayal. So that's why this week we are going to be going through hard knocks. How do we handle that? Well, the way to handle trouble when it comes is to use common sense. And that's a good idea, because everyone has common sense. And generally, common sense dictates that you do the simplest thing. And that's a good idea, because common sense is ruled by Virgo. And remember, there are 4 wonderful planets in Virgo. And they are being trined by Pluto in Capricorn. So 5 planets are in the realistic earth signs, and that means that no matter where you're coming from or what kind of hard knock you have to endure, you really are going to have to get down to reality right now and you will have to figure out something that makes a lot of common sense. Virgo also rules accounting, so we'll all have to look over our budgets pretty carefully and figure out what's affordable and what isn't as well. So the reason why it's important to stick to reality and common sense solutions when hard knocks hit is because in another week we will have a solar eclipse in Virgo. And solar eclipses always denote new beginnings. So we really do have to understand that the way to solve a problem is perhaps just to get down to the basics and try to solve them or set them up in a common sense way. Because a lot of people can be in denial right now, since that Neptune in Pisces is opposing all the planets in Virgo. And so what that means is that really when hard knocks hit, it is a very strong indication that despite every kind of excuse you might give yourself, no one can live in a sheltered bubble of denial forever. And so this is a week when a hard knock could burst your bubble. But that doesn't mean that you need to fail. That simply means that you need to apply common sense and face reality as well. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, your sign has Uranus in it, which is being squared by Pluto in Capricorn, and both planets are retrograde right now, meaning that if there are changes in policies or procedures or management, those changes could adversely affect you. Another thing that's possible is that there could be budget cuts of one sort or another, and for that reason, you would need to be very careful not to overextend yourself right now, Aries. And that might be easy to do if you bow to the pressure of people who do not have your best interests at heart. And that is possible since Mars, your own ruler, is conjuncting Saturn in Sagittarius, and they are trining Uranus in your own sign. So you have to be real careful not to give in to temptation right now, Aries, because if you do, I think that it could cost you something. It could even cost you your job. So there is the possibility that hard knocks in one way or another could hit you this week, Aries. And the only backup you would have would be other people who are sort of angry or fiercely competitive right now. And I really don't think they'd be much help to you. And so they could urge you on to do something that would be regrettable, and I hope you don't instead. Just try to bear your hard knocks with a lot of patience right now, if possible, Aries. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, there's a funny thing happening as well. And it is that there are no planets in any of the fixed signs. There are 4 fixed signs, yours, Taurus, and Leo, and Scorpio, and Aquarius. And there are no planets in any of the fixed signs, so you yourself are not being threatened this week, Taurus. And for that reason, I think that you could be compassionate about other people who could be going through hard knocks of one sort or another. I mean, it sort of looks like everybody's going to be facing some sort of challenge, but lucky you, I don't think it will actually occur directly to you. But Uranus in Aries is right behind your sun sign, so it could be happening in the background of your life, and that's why there could be some sort of sudden change, but not really hard knocks as such. And that is because the 4 wonderful planets in Virgo now trine your sun, and Pluto in Capricorn also trines your sun. That's 5 out of those 10 planets that are in the down-to-earth, realistic earth signs, and they can be supporting you and your ideas. So if you are a person who has been following a plan along rather consistently, I would say you could be pleased with the results right now, Taurus. And you may have enough facts and figures to validate your idea that you want a better job, or you want more money, or some sort of promotion. And so I would speak up if I were you, Taurus, because you're not actually being threatened by other people who are somewhat hard-headed right now, although there are a lot of hard knocks happening to other people around you. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, that gentle moon is in your sign today, which is wonderful because it puts a lot of light on you, Gemini. However, it is one of 8 planets in a very harsh grand cross right now. And because the moon rules our feelings, you could get your feelings easily hurt right now through hard knocks that other people are administering. And in fact, it can be that somebody is sort of talking in their language, but it's not enabling you to react in any way because you are very close to your feelings and they are talking facts and figures and not feelings. So you're not talking the same language with somebody right now who really has some good answers and can solve problems with facts and figures. But that isn't what you're interested in right now. You're interested in someone understanding your feelings, and there are not a lot of those people around this week, so you could be suffering hard knocks from people who can be misunderstanding you right now. Also, Mars and Saturn in Sagittarius are opposing that moon in your sign, and that means there are a lot of people that could want to sort of rile you up and get you to overreact, and you mustn't do that, Gemini. And the reason why is these people can be fiercely competitive, and they can be wanting to get some reaction out of you to goad you into making mistakes or to saying things that you don't really deeply mean. And that's why you need to keep real quiet this week, Gemini, because you really don't have as many friends around right now in your corner as you would like. This emphasis on so many planets squaring each other, that will pass. But for right now, keep your feelings to yourself, Gemini, and stay within your family. They're the ones that understand you best. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, that moon in Gemini is right behind your sun sign, so you can be involved in the background of your life with some short trip or even thinking about a second home or working with young people in one way or another. And they could be wanting your help, Cancer. Maybe they really need it because maybe they're suffering some hard knocks right now. And Cancer is a very nurturing sign. So behind the scenes, you might decide to be pretty good to some people right now, particularly younger people. And I would if I were you, because, you know, when hard knocks hit, we need to help each other out. And your sign does rule feelings. And that's why I think if you want to respond to the hurt feelings of others, that would be a good thing to do. And people would appreciate your compassion this week instead, and that would be good for you as well. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, yours is a fixed sign. And remember, I said there are no planets in the fixed signs right now. That is very strange, but there aren't. So there isn't anybody who's really coming at you and is going to hit you very hard, Leo, but they could ask your help in doing that to somebody else. And I advise you to say no, because you don't have to get in the middle of anyone else's fight, Leo. You really don't. You have 5 good planets, 4 good planets right ahead of your sun sign. The sun, your own ruler, has now gone into Virgo along with Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter, and they are all right ahead of your sun sign, meaning that if you focus on proven facts and figures, or being a little bit more efficient, or some sort of cost cutting and really watching your budget and doing a lot of accounting right now, you could be rather pleased with the results. And remember, there's going to be a solar eclipse next week in Virgo, which is right ahead of your sun sign, and that means that there could be the possibility of you being able to make more money by helping others in one way or another, or being of service to others. So there is a job prospect that might be coming up as well. So don't get in the middle of other people's fights right now. You don't need to, Leo, because nobody's coming at you. So enjoy your peace while you can. All right, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, you have a wonderful group of planets in your sun sign. So I think your sun sign is magnificently well aspected right now because the Sun, Venus, Mercury, your own ruler, and Jupiter are all in your sign, and they are being tried beautifully by Pluto in Capricorn, which means that management, perhaps better management that has changed, is more than willing to listen to your good ideas, Virgo. And you can be rather happy with the plans that you have been working on for a while that demonstrates problem solving based on experience that you've already had. And so, you know, when you speak about something that can be done, it's because you've already done it in a different way, and people can see the good results from that, so they trust you. And so that's why you should be able to go forward right now, except that your sign is one of the signs involved with 8 planets in a grand cross in mutable signs. So it is easy if you concentrate too much on facts that you could hurt other people's feelings, particularly young people, since the moon in Gemini is squaring your sun. So you need to sort of get off the facts and figures and just show compassion, if you possibly can, Virgo, for others. And also, you can be facing fierce competition because Mars and Saturn in Sagittarius are squaring your sun. So you need to stay away from some jealous or argumentative people who may have old grudges to settle. And then Neptune in Pisces is opposing your sun sign, which means somebody who has been living in a sheltered bubble of denial really has to face facts. And I'm sorry to say, they'll probably get enough of a hard knock that it will burst their bubble, and they may be coming to you for help, and you would have good answers that could help them as well. So you could be very busy, but you're also going to have to be pretty careful who you talk to and how you express yourself this week. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, the moon in Gemini is trining your sun, which is wonderful. And that means that somebody, or maybe 2 people at least, because Gemini does rule 2 of everything, can be coming to you with their ideas. And they might have hurt feelings, but they could be looking at you as a willing partner that can help them smooth things over right now. And that would be a good idea. You're very good at diplomacy and charm, Libra. So I think you might get a chance to exhibit your skills in a productive way and help somebody else out. There's also the possibility that you could be contemplating a short trip, or maybe 2 short trips, and that would work out well. That would work out as well. So I think that, you know, there are so many good planets behind your sun sign, the 4 of them that are in Virgo, that you have a lot of backup and protection, and you have a way to create some sort of movement with others that can be exhibiting your peacekeeping qualities, which you're very good at. So go right ahead. As I think you're coming into an easier time, that does not mean you might not experience hard knocks, but it does mean that you could be around other people that could be helpful if that happens to you, or you could help them instead. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, remember yours is a fixed sign, and there aren't any planets in fixed signs right now, which is good. That means you can continue on with a development of strategy that can really help you make some of your future dreams or plans come true, and that could be aided by finding out more information behind the scenes, because Neptune in Pisces, which rules things that are hidden, is trining your sun, which is good. There isn't any reason for you to move forward in a real dynamic way right now, and that is because nothing is harshly aspecting your sun sign, and I urge you not to do that. In other words, don't move too fast this week, no matter what, because Mars and Saturn and Sagittarius are right ahead of your sun sign, and that means you could step into a quagmire that, or some sort of burning fire of resentment on someone else's behalf, and boy, it could burn you instead, Scorpio. So this is a very good time to sort of mind your own business and step back and concentrate on the strategy that will help you with your future plans instead, quietly. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, with Mars and Saturn in your sign and being part of a harsh grand cross among mutable signs with 8 planets involved, I would say that, you know, you could be a little desperate to get something right now, and I think instead you will be experiencing hard knocks this week, Sagittarius. It may have already happened, But if it isn't, there is something coming up like that. And that's because the moon in Gemini is opposing your sun sign, which means that young people's feelings can be very hurt right now, or there can be some problem that they have that you are not sympathetic to at all, and that could create a division with people that perhaps you really care about, but they could be going their way because they may not appreciate your attitude at the moment. And also the planets in Virgo, 4 of them are squaring your sun, which is a reminder that you really have to face reality right now. And there is so much that you have to face. You have to face facts about your health, about your job, about your bank account right now. So there is a lot that you have to deal with, and it can stir you up and make you angry, Sagittarius, and you must quell that and instead try to think in a very realistic, practical way. The way to handle hard knocks is to use common sense. And if there's more than one hard knock coming your way, Sagittarius, just try to handle one problem at a time, okay? Because I don't think you can handle them all at the moment. You are under a lot of pressure, I know. But if you slow down a little bit, believe it or not, that will help you out. And it could mean that you have been in denial about some things, or some people may have been lying to you, and that could result in some sort of hard knock of reality at the moment. So this is a time when you really have to pray for a miracle, Sagittarius. And I'm not too sure that you're going to get one right now, but don't overreact to anything because it could really make more trouble for you instead. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time when having the answers can make for very satisfying results for you right now. There is the possibility that there is a better job opportunity coming your way. And that's because Virgo rules jobs, and the sun, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter are all in Virgo, trining your sun sign where you have Pluto. You may be instrumental in some sort of promotion or job change that is affected by a change in management in one, or policies and procedures in one way or another. Whatever is changing in that area would tend to be favorable for you, Capricorn. So there's nothing wrong with you facing reality, because it might be that you have come up with a lot of answers that can sort of help you go forward in your future. And you could do that cautiously, but very securely right now. So that should be good news for you. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, that moon in Gemini is trining your sun, which is great. That simply means you might be thinking of taking a few short trips, or it can be that some visitors are coming your way, and they could be relatives or younger people. And that would make you happy, Aquarius. You get along with a lot of different people. And so that could sort of take your mind off troubles that other people are having, and that's because there are no planets in fixed signs, and yours is a fixed sign, so I don't think you're going to experience the hard knocks that other people will experience. I just caution you not to get in the middle of anybody else's hard knocks. You could offer sympathy, but because you are a future-oriented person, and some of the hard knocks are a result of past actions or past deeds or thoughts, you may not be able to be much help in solving them. And that's why I think you should just sort of enjoy easy pleasures around your home or in your neighborhood or with your relatives. Or else you could enjoy somebody who's coming for a short visit, because that might happen as well. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, remember I said, Pisces, that there is the possibility that nobody can actually live in a sheltered bubble of denial forever, and that is really true. And you may be realizing that right now if you have not been facing facts about your health, your job, or your bank account. And that's because those 4 planets in Virgo, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter, are all opposing your sun sign where you have Neptune. So you could have been kidding yourself about something for a long time, Pisces. And there are no planets in the other water signs. Your sign is not fortified in any way. So you might experience a hard knock that forces you to face reality. But if you go ahead and use common sense, you may be getting some pretty good solutions to problems right now too. So look at the bright side, Pisces. However, there can be fierce competitors around or dangerous circumstances that you could be a victim of because Mars and Saturn in Sagittarius are squaring your sun. So you really need to watch out for your safety this week, Pisces. And that means that anything or anybody that is coming at you too quickly must be avoided, or you could get hurt. And that is the same thing with anybody that you know of that is violent in any way, or angry. You really have to stay away from those people this week because one of their hard knocks could land on you, Pisces, and that would not be very nice. And then the moon in Gemini is also squaring your sun, which means that it's not a good idea for you to trust your hunches right now, which is what you usually do, but don't do that now, because other people's feelings can be hurt, and that can promote misunderstandings. And that is why, you have to be on your guard and just stick to common sense solutions right now, Pisces, because it could be that hard knocks are headed your way if you have been kidding yourself about anything. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show anytime you want by subscribing to it on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.